Hey guys, this is Carl. I'm going to be presenting with Chris and Brandon on professional issues, start clause, and referral for profit. Alrighty, our objectives today are going to be number 1, describe start clause. Number 2, define referral for profit. Number 3, discuss physician-owned physical therapy services, or POPTS. And then number 4, understand the APTA's stance on referral for profit. Number 5, ensure the audience's understanding on Regis's position on physician-owned physical therapy practices.
Physician self-referral is a practice of a physician referring a patient to a designated health service in which they have a financial interest, which includes some form of ownership, investment, or structured compensation arrangement. The STAR clause were put into place to prohibit the physician self-referral to ensure that the interest of the patient was placed above any sort of financial gain that may come from the treating physician through a self-referral. This in all ensures that optimal medical decisions are made for the patient based off quality, diagnostics, turnaround time to see the patient, and cost. The STAR clause were originally included as a provision in the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1989, which included the provision START 1. Due to concerns about services, they were not included and could be extended to the ban. Recommendations were made to expand the restrictions to other services and programs and include Medicaid and Medicare. This was known as START 2, included in the Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act of 1993. In 2007, START 3 became effective to primarily build on and interpret the expectations contained in START 1 and START 2. Designated health services that were prohibited to physician self-referral included clinical lab services, PT, OT, and outpatient speech pathology services, radiology and certain other imaging services, radiation therapy, DME and supplies, parenteral, prosthetics and orthotics, home health services, outpatient prescription drugs, as well as inpatient and outpatient hospital services. Due to the wide range of services banned to the laws, changes were made to the law on prohibitions based on compensation arrangements and the reduction in the list of services subject to the ban by the laws. These exceptions included in-office ancillary services, fair market compensation, indirect compensation, and non-monetary exceptions. The exceptions to the in-office ancillary services was that the services must be performed in the same building or office and must be directly supervised by the physician or physician in the group. The in-office ancillary services applies to physical therapy in this case. The penalties for physicians for violating the law can include fines up to $15,000, exclusion from further participation in the federal healthcare programs, which you would think would provide proper incentive to abide by the laws.
Hey guys, Carl here again with our first check for understanding. Let's make sure you guys are paying attention. So, first question here is, how many sets of STAR clause have been passed? Take a few seconds to answer. And you guessed it, there have been 3 sets of STAR clause passed so far. The first one was in 1989, the second one was 1993, and then the third one was in 2007.
This slide talks about referral for profit. Referral for profit describes the financial relationship between a physical therapist and physician, in which a physician refers a patient for physical therapy and derives a financial compensation from the physical therapy services provided to the person referred. Examples of referral for profit are as follows. The physician has an ownership interest in a physical therapy practice to which he or she refers. A physician or physician's practice employs or contracts with a physical therapist to provide physical therapy services. Lastly, a physician's income is directly or indirectly tied to revenues made from the physical therapy services provided to the referred patients. This slide discusses physician-owned physical therapy services and their legality. A physician-owned physical therapy service is a physician practice under which physical therapy interventions are delivered. Care is delivered under a single umbrella practice, meaning physicians refer patients who need physical therapy to their own practice. These types of practices are technically legal, but are seen as a method to circumvent the existing Stark laws. APTA staunchly opposes these types of practices as well. They say that these types of practices take referrals away from physical therapist-owned outpatient centers. Also, referral for profit can create relationships based on financial incentive rather than the actual needs of the patients. Lastly, the Physical Therapy Licensing Board has zero jurisdiction over physicians who own these types of practices, which in turn decreases the amount of oversight that can be put over these practices, as well as limit the protection for patients.
Hey guys, Carl here. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Regis' stance on physician-owned physical therapy services. So first we're going to take a look at the APTA stance on the matter. And as Brandon just said, the APTA is opposed to physician-owned physical therapy services and has been since the 1970s. The APTA is still addressing this issue with House subcommittees. As recently as 2018, there was a subcommittee, and some of the notes here are pretty powerful. So some of these quotes are: the exception hurts the development of APMs, alternative payment models, because it fails to promote collaboration with small and medium-sized physical therapy and non-physician practices. Physical therapists will be unable to meaningfully participate in Medicare and Medicaid APMs, despite their desire to do so, potentially impeding patient freedom of choice and access to the highest quality care. So Regis takes a very similar stance and opposes physician-owned physical therapy services, and we do not partner with any of these POPTs for our clinical education sites, citing that POPTs have undue influence on the practice and payment of physical therapists. All right, guys, another check for understanding. So, which of these scenarios is an example of referral for profit? A physician has ownership interest in a physical therapy practice to which he or she refers. B, a physician/physician's practice employs or contracts with a physical therapist to provide physical therapy services. C, a physician's income is directly or indirectly tied to the revenues made from the physical therapy services provided to the referred patients. Or D, all of the above. All right, guys, and you guessed it. It was in fact D, all of the above. Each one of these examples is actually an example of referral for profit. So to wrap everything up, just want to address that referral for profit can create a dangerous situation where profit is put ahead of a patient's well-being and safety. And physician-owned physical therapy services can often lead to situations where this referral for profit is commonplace. Finally, Stark laws were designed to protect patients from poor healthcare due to these referral for profit scenarios, but the current laws do not prevent patient-owned physical therapy services.